Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Nicole Seymour and I am teaching a study abroad course this summer in Vienna, Austria, and I am here to tell you a little bit more about that program. So here we go. So on the right here, you see one of the many gorgeous streets of Vienna, and you're going to see a lot more pictures in just a moment. So the basics of the program is that we will spend 4 weeks, quote unquote, in country, meaning in Vienna, in Austria, from June 1st to June 30th, 2022. And to the right here, you can see exactly where Vienna is. If you're not familiar with it, it's pretty much right in the middle of Central Europe, and it touches Germany, Switzerland, and Italy, which are some of the Alpine regions of Europe. And we'll talk about the Alps in just a couple minutes. So the period in country, the month of June, will be preceded by a week of prep work and getting to know you activities. So that will be May 23rd through 27th, 2022. The program carries 6 units of coursework, 3 of which are HSS 350, Life and Culture in Vienna, which satisfies the GEC3Z requirement, and English 301, Advanced College Writing, which satisfies the upper division writing requirement for almost all majors, but do please check with your department advisor to make sure that's going to work with your major. The program fee is $1,262.17. Those 17 cents are very important, but that the reason it's sort of a random number is that it reflects a lot of reduction. So I actually applied for a $20,000 grant and got that from CSUF's IRA fund, which means that the cost for everyone went down a whole lot. So that $1,262.17 includes assured living quarters with a kitchen, insurance, and all excursions. So all the official activities we'll be doing, museum entrances, day trips, all that will be paid for. It does not include things like airfare, tuition, your passport fees, or optional excursions. So if you want to, go off on your own for the evening, take yourself out to dinner, go to a club, whatever, you're going to pay for that on your own dime. The program is open to all majors. You do have to have a minimum GPA of 2.5 and at least 30 units of coursework completed. So the HSS 350 course will focus on the cultural, economic, and ecological importance of the famous Danube River, which is the longest international river in the world, as well as the smaller Vien River to Vienna and Austria. And on the right here, you can see an image of what's called the Donau Canal, the Danube Canal. And it's just a really, the river and the canal are a major part of city life. So you can see here that people socialize there, they gather there in the evenings and on weekends and so forth. English 301 will be a travel writing course, asking you to write about your experiences, such as eating new foods, through a variety of forms, including journals, postcards, online reviews, and social media. So I'm really obsessed with Vienna's desserts. Vienna is it's the capital of desserts in my mind, the world capital of desserts. They have just these gorgeous, incredible pastries. You can see one on the lower left that comes from Café Central, which you'll see an image of in just a moment. And then above, this is, to me, it's just like a temple, right? It's just this gorgeous temple to dessert. And it's a place called Hofzuckerbacker Cafe, which means basically court sugar baker cafe. And while I'm obsessing over food, I have to tell you guys that I went to Old World today in Huntington Beach, and I picked up some Viennese delights to get myself, pumped up for recording this video. So I got some of these chocolate wafer pastries. I also got myself some apple strudel. Can't really see it, otherwise it'll fall out. I also picked up some Almdudler, which is the official drink of Austria, and it's a soda made with apple juice and some other complicated ingredients. And Almdudler, FYI, means person who yodels in an alpine pasture. I also picked up, because I am over 21, some Stiegel beer here. And if you're starting to feel like you're noticing a color scheme along with my shirt, that's because the Austrian flag is red and white striped. So again, trying to get in the zone here to get excited, get you excited. Okay, so there's, where to begin with the highlights of Vienna. I'm just going to mention a couple here. Tons of incredible museums. We'll look at the Jewish Museum. There's also the Freud Museum, the Sigmund Freud Museum. That's where he practiced psychoanalysis before, unfortunately, fleeing the city when the Nazi regime was taking over. Vienna is also known for its incredible coffee houses and, again, the pastries. So on the left, you can see apple strudel. It's called Apfelstrudel in German. And that's one of the sort of famous things that did make its way from Austria to America. So you may have had that at some point. Above is Café Central, just this gorgeous, gorgeous place. It looks like a palace, but you can actually just walk in there and drink a cup of coffee. And on the right is a place I really like called Café Krukel. Lots of highlights outside the city as well that we'll get to explore. So we'll take a day trip to Donau-Auen National Park. And the company that is organizing the tours for us has told me that we will be doing a river rafting excursion there. And I am frankly terrified of that, but I will do anything once. So we'll see how that goes. We'll also, going back to Vienna's and Austria's sort of dark history, dark side, we'll take a short day trip to Mauthausen concentration camp and memorial, so we can again learn more about the history of Nazi rule as well as the Holocaust and how that relates to Austria. And we'll also take a day trip, a 3-day trip to Salzburg, which is in the south of Austria. And here I have a little GIF. I don't know if this is familiar to some people. If you've never seen The Sound of Music, you should. It's my favorite movie. It's fantastic. So this is an image of Fräulein Maria, kind of like an almdudler. She's swirling around in an alpine pasture. So we will get to see that alpine view when we're in Salzburg. Back to Vienna. Vienna is the capital of Austria. It has 2 million inhabitants. It is known for its history of classical music, art, and dance. So among many other things, Vienna is the home of the waltz. It's also very known for opera. So you can see here the Viennese State Opera at night. Really pretty picture. I really think of Vienna as kind of what we call storybook Europe. So it just has this gorgeous architecture, everything from medieval architecture, which you can see on the right here, to Baroque architecture, just these incredibly ornate old buildings. It also has really wonderful local and regional train travel. And that's something as Californians we're not used to doing a lot, probably. So you'll enjoy riding the Straßenbahn, which is on the bottom here. And you'll also be able to take a train from Vienna to Salzburg. English is widely spoken in Vienna in addition to German and many other languages. But I will teach you a little German. So things like bitte, meaning please, and danke, meaning thank you, definitely go a long way. Here on the right, this is not directly related to what I'm talking about, but I just thought it was another cool image. So this is what's called the Museumsquartier, which is an area where there's several museums all together. And then you can see there's this really great public outdoor space where anyone can come read a book, socialize, people watch, all that good stuff. Getting back to the question of German and languages, this is a little icebreaker. It's kind of corny, but I just thought it would be fun. So you already know how to say Viennese, meaning from Vienna in German, even if you think you don't. So let's start with the German word for Vienna, which is Wien. So if Wien means Vienna in German, how do you say Viennese? Think about it. Wiener, that's right. If that's where your mind went, you were actually correct. So through a sort of complicated series of linguistical transfers, Wiener, which used to refer to Wiener Wurst or Viennese sausage, sort of then became shorthand for sausage in the US. And now sometimes you see hot dogs being labeled Wieners or Wieners. So think about Wiener Schnitzel or Wiener Schnitzel. That's where that name comes from. So again, you know 2 German words now. You know Almdudler and you know Wiener. So congratulations. Okay, our hub in Vienna will be the IES Study Abroad Center, also known as Palais Corbelli. And it has, as you can see here, these really beautiful lounge and study spaces. I figured I should tell you something about myself, not just about Vienna. So I speak basic German, so level B1 or B1. And hopefully I can get us out of, any scrapes. I can get us directions and all that good basic stuff. I've lived and traveled extensively in Europe. So I spent 1.5 years in Munich, Germany, and 4 months in Edinburgh, Scotland, very recently, actually. And here's a picture here. These are the things you learn when you go to other countries that you just had no idea about. So I had no idea that Scotland had volcanoes. In fact, it does. And I actually climbed one. Thankfully, it was inactive, but it was very cold and windy. So I can share with you guys a lot of, travel tips and travel experience. I've also, of course, been to Vienna before as well. My hobbies include reading, shopping for vintage clothing, and playing trivia. So you will definitely find me hunting through some, vintage clothing racks in Vienna. You're welcome to join me. And if you want to know further information, you can just Google CSUF Nicole Seymour, and you'll find it, because obviously you can't click through this link right now. And then finally, some FAQs, things you might want to know about. Will I need a passport? Yes. If you do not have a passport already, you should apply for one ASAP. It can take as long as 3 months to process, but there are expedited options. Again, the simplest thing to do would just be to Google, since you can't click on this link. So just Google how to get a US passport or how to apply for a US passport, and you should get travel.state.gov. Don't go to any other weird sites that don't have .gov, and it's pretty simple. Can I apply for financial aid? Yes. So the simplest thing to do is go to your portal, type in scholarships in the app search area, and then a link will take you to a general CSUF application that you can use to apply for multiple scholarships. And this is important here. Be sure to check yes to any questions regarding study abroad, even if you haven't turned in your study abroad application yet. And I say this because the Vienna application is due March 6th, but some scholarship apps are due as early as April 4th. So if you're filling out one of those, in the interest of time, and it says, have you already applied for study abroad, just go ahead and say yes, even if you haven't yet. Okay, so if you're feeling like you're jazzed, you're like, I'm ready to drink my almond doodler soda, I'm ready to eat some manor things, cookies, wonderful. So the wunderbar, as they would say, in Vienna. So the most important thing to do right now is to email me at nseymour@fullerton.edu so I can add you to my list. And then I'm giving you a link to the official application here. But again, it's probably easier to email me, and then I will send you that link. If you're not sure if you're in, one option is to attend the meet and greet info session that I'm hosting with JC Covert, who is the CSUF Study Abroad Specialist, on February 15th from 1 to 1:30 at this Zoom link. And I'll just give you a second to write that down. But yet again, you can always email me, and I'll give you these important links and so forth. So feel free to just, show up, hop on. You don't need to tell me ahead of time. The question on everyone's mind, will COVID affect X? Well, as we all know by now, nothing is set in stone, and COVID has affected many things. But I have been planning this program for 3 years now, and I personally have every intention of going. I'm feeling very optimistic about this. And I should also mention that summer tends to be the best time to travel safely, COVID-wise. So the surge that we've seen recently was obviously related to the holidays. So hopefully that will subside very quickly. It's already subsiding as we speak. I should also mention that, like CSUF, Austria requires all travelers to be fully vaccinated and boosted, which of course will further protect your health. Okay, you might have more questions. So yet again, please email me at any time at nseymour@fullerton.edu. And I will say auf Wiedersehen, which means goodbye in German.